acceptance. Today, let us look at another topic known as, we looked at the consideration, not acceptance. Today, we are looking at acceptance as a new topic. Then after, we shall look at the rules governing acceptance. So what is acceptance? Because acceptance is one of the essential elements of a valid contract. And acceptance, it refers to the manifestation by the offeree of his or her assent to the terms of the offer. I've said acceptance refers to the manifestation by the offeree of his or her assent to the terms of the offer. It can also be defined as unqualified and unconditional assent to the terms of the offer. Once the existence of an offer has been proved, court must be satisfied that the offeree has accepted the offer. If the offeree does not accept the offer, then there is no contract concluded. The person who offers something is called offerer, and that something must be accepted by the offeree. Having defined acceptance, let us look at the rules governing acceptance. The first rule is that acceptance must be absolute and resolute. If not absolute, the parties cannot be said to be ad idem or identical. Any suggested variation amounts to counteroffer, as in the case of Hyde versus Range, 1840. What does it mean? It means it must be firm and final. When you have accepted, you don't need to change your mind and you deny the subject matter. The second rule governing acceptance is that acceptance must be communicated to the offeree. Acceptance must be communicated to the offeree. And there's different modes of communication. Because if the offeree is not aware of what has been offered to him, then there cannot be a valid contract. And there are different modes of communication. Communication can be by word of mouth. It can be verbal. But there must be evidence of communication to the offeree. It can be by conduct. It can be by telephone. It can be by post. Word of mouth, as I've said, which is express communication. Telex. You can even communicate using social media, WhatsApp and Facebook. But there must be evidence that you communicated the offeree for acceptance to be legally binding and enforceable by courts of law. Number 3 is that acceptance may be in writing, may be oral, or it may be implied, as I've already said. Another rule governing acceptance is that acceptance must be from a specified person. What does it mean? This arises when the offer is made to a certain specified person and can only be accepted by him alone. If made to the particular group of people, It can be accepted by any member of that group, provided he communicates the acceptance required, meaning acceptance should be from a specified person, either another person or a group of people. So acceptance cannot emerge from nowhere. Acceptance must also be made. Acceptance can be in writing, oral form, or by conduct, as I've already said. Acceptance, another rule governing acceptance is that acceptance must be made while the offer is still in force. You cannot accept when the offer has already been withdrawn. So acceptance must be made while the offer is still in force. Another rule governing acceptance is that acceptance must exactly match the terms of the offer, because the terms are embedded in the acceptance. If you accept, it means you have accepted even the terms of the offer. You have to accept the whole offer as it is in its mode. And acceptance is not effective if communicated in ignorance of the offer. Another rule governing acceptance is that the offerer may expressly prescribe the method of communicating acceptance. Acceptance must be communicated to the offerer in the manner prescribed by him in the offer. So the offerer can even recommend the mode through which acceptance should be communicated to him. If he wants it to be communicated by post, then you cannot communicate orally or by conduct, and that means the offerer will reject it. Another one, acceptance must be communicated by the offeree himself or by someone with his authority. The principle was stated in the case of Powell versus Lee, 1908, where the plaintiff applied for the post of headmaster of a school, which was run by the defendant, who were the manager defendants who were the manager of the school. He was called for an interview, and the managers passed a resolution appointing him, but they did not make arrangements for notifying him. However, one of them, without authority, informed the plaintiff that had been appointed. The managers subsequently reopened the matter and appointed another candidate. The plaintiff sued for breach of contract. The issue before court was whether acceptance was validly communicated to the plaintiff. Court held that this action for breach of contract should fail because the defendants had not properly communicated acceptance to him, since the person who communicated had no authority to do so. Therefore, this is a case to back up the point of acceptance must be communicated by the offeree himself or by someone appointed with his authority. Let us now look at exceptions to the communication of acceptance rule. Exceptions to the communications of acceptance rule. Exceptions we mean where acceptance can be where acceptance can be legal, can be legally binding without necessarily being communicated. The first instance is in unilateral contracts. And last time I told you unilateral contracts